Hey guys, it's the LEGO Chooser here, and today I'm going to do a super fun comparison for you, and it is comparing the UCS Gunship to the Mos Eisley Cantina, and that is because both sets have the same price point. I mean, previously they were worth $350, but with the LEGO price increase, now they're worth $400, and I'm going to determine which set is better for that huge price point. So let's start off with the box arts, and we have to address that both sets are 18 plus. However, they have very different purposes. The UCS Gunship is an Ultimate Collector Series set meant for display, and the Mos Eisley Cantina is a Master Builder Series meant for play and has more minifigs, functionality, and everything. The Republic Gunship is 18 plus, again, set 75309 with 3,292 pieces, and will retail for $400, which is the same price for the Cantina. Again, the Cantina is an 18 plus set 75290 with 3,187 pieces, and the box art is really nice. However, they're not the same size. I mean, they look the same size, but when you look at it from the top, the Gunship one is much larger. The back of the box is really important because it shows you the set plus its features and compares it with the set in the Star Wars universe. Over here, we're gonna have the UCS Gunship, of course, its measurements, more images from the Gunship, but also a ton of scenes from the movies, and over here a comparison. And wow, LEGO really did nail it, and it just looks so damn good, and it's the same thing. I mean, it's just so good. And over here with the Cantina, it's the same thing. However, the Cantina is all opened up with the minifigs there and its interior all packed up so that you can see all the action that you can have with this Cantina. Again, here are the measurements so you can take a look. Another comparison here with the Cantina, just as the Gunship, and more parts that are included with the set. Another thing you should consider is the instruction manual, and both are really massive. The Gunship is a bit bigger. I mean, they do have the same footprint, but the Gunship one is much thicker. So yeah, you do have to take that into consideration. So I'm gonna give my final opinion about the box arts, and in my opinion, they're both 10 out of 10s. If I made this comparison a year ago, this would have been a 5 out of 10 because they used the Imperial logo over here instead of the Republic one, but right now it's fixed and there's really no issue with the box, so I'm giving both a 10 out of 10. Now we're gonna compare one of the most important aspects of the set, and those are the minifigures. And of course, we're gonna rank them according to what the set is. Starting off with the UCS Gunship, of course, we cannot expect 20 minifigures in an Ultimate Collector Series set, so we're gonna rank it upon that. And over here we have these two figs. And over here we have Mace Windu, which is the better figure of them both. He does have the exclusive dots from the Geonosian Arena, which makes him exclusive and a very expensive minifigure. He's worth about $40, which is really nice. However, the problem isn't Mace Windu, it's this clone commander. I mean, he has a phase 2 armor and a phase 1 helmet. I mean, that is ridiculous, but that's not the problem. The problem is that LEGO said that this doubles as a clone pilot. I mean, that's ridiculous, guys. That can't happen in a UCS set, especially comparing it to the UCS Gunship. I mean, you just see this build and see this and what LEGO said, and that is horrendous, guys. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that this minifigure is in a $45 set and a $15, which has never happened before in a UCS set. Surely happened with the UCS Sandcrawler that the Jawas are in other sets, but it's a Jawa and it has more than 5 exclusive figs. This should have been a clone pilot or a Commander Cody. But for being a UCS set, I don't think it's that bad, and I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Now, with the Mos Eisley Cantina, we can expect 20 or more minifigs compared to the UCS set, and those 20 or more minifigs are really nice. Here are all the exclusive ones, the ones you get that are only in this set, and even though these have been in other sets, this version is only in this set. We have seen other versions, but this version is unique and exclusive to this set, and that's what matters. Over here are the figs I don't care with being repeated again. I mean, these baby musicians are really nice. C-3PO, couldn't have expected more, but here are the 4 that I would have liked more. And maybe it's just me comparing the Han Solo to the Cloud City one and Greedo to the 2003 Cantina, but I really prefer other versions of these characters. I mean, Han Solo, I would have liked an arm printing or maybe that dual-molded leg we saw in Cloud City. Greedo, I was definitely expecting arm printing, so it's really disappointing. Over here we have Luke Skywalker, and I know this fig is just super bad. And it's not that the figure is bad, it's just that we saw it like 5 times in 2020, and I would have liked an exclusive version for this set. And Wooher over here, although he's very nice, he's exactly the same as his early appearance in 2018, so I would have liked a new version. However, for this set and the exclusive figs, I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, if Greedo alone would have had arm printing, this would have been a 10 out of 10, but right now it has a 9.5, which really isn't that bad. So as you can see, those were my rankings for the minifigure selection. And if you're a minifigure lover, I'm sure that you'll prefer the Cantina. I mean, you just love these exclusive minifigures or something, but figure-wise, I'm leaning towards the Cantina. If the Gunship would have had a Phase 2 Cody and maybe another cool figure like a Clone Pilot, things would have been much different, but as of now, I'm definitely leaning towards the Cantina in the minifigure selection. Finally, guys, to the part you've all been waiting for and you've been dying to see, and that is to see the UCS Gunship compared to the Mos Eisley Cantina. So we're gonna break it down in 3 categories, and that is value, play, and display. So as you can see, we're gonna start off with playability. And the Cantina is huge in terms of playability. So I'm just gonna give you a small briefing. We're gonna have a speeder right here. You have an interior for it, of course. Another speeder right here, which you can fit another fig in the back. We're gonna have these 2 buildings that can detach from the main build of the Cantina. And for almost all of them, except this one, you can see it all off from the roof. And as you can see, it is really jam-packed. You have a ton of things to do. And if you can turn this around, you're gonna have a huge access to the interior. Plus over here, you're gonna be able to see the Jawa shop inside. And if you wanna take a closer look, you're gonna open it up here, and wow, the building alone has more playability than the UCS Gunship, which is really impressive. And of course, as you can know, the Cantina can open up and you'll just detach it from over here. But of course, this is no in-depth review. So I'm just gonna show you all the booths that you have over here. And it has 6 booths. They're all really nice, but this one has a bit more playability. You're gonna be able to put figs over there in the back, and you're gonna have a ton of these doors all throughout the set and just have access everywhere. You have all of these panels that can open up so that you can have a better access. I mean, this is just too good. I can stay 10 minutes more talking about the Cantina, but of course I'm not gonna do that. And as you can see, this set is just super nice and very detailed, but especially very playable. And moving on with the UCS Gunship, I can't say the same. This is an Ultimate Collector Series set meant for display, and aside from all the things you can do with minifigures, moving parts are not a specialty for this set. You only have these doors. You're gonna have this that can move back and forth. You can open it up to put a fig, but of course it's just not meant to do that. You can do it also here, but again, it's just not meant to do that. You can move these, but again, you're just not gonna play with this. You're gonna go to the back. You're gonna see all this area that you just really can't do anything with. You can open this up, but this is almost it. Let's just put it back. And another moving part of the Gunship is this over here. And it's the rockets, and they're really nice, but playability wise, you're not gonna play with this. You're definitely gonna leave this on display because this is just so massive. So for the playability, I'm gonna give the Cantina a 10 out of 10. It is really nice, and it just has so many functions. And another thing you have to count for the playability is the minifigs, and the minifigs are there, so it's definitely a 10 out of 10. However, the Gunship, even though it doesn't have a lot of playability, I'm gonna have to give it a 6 or 7. I'm gonna give it a 7 because for a UCS set, it has a decent amount of playability because you have an interior, you have some moving parts, and for a UCS set, it's really nice. And the figs are not there for this playability, but again, for a UCS set, it isn't that bad. So those are my final rankings for playability. It's a 10 out of 7. So that off with the playability, we're gonna start off with a category that the Gunship just dwarfs the Cantina, and that is display. But the Cantina is just not really meant for display, but for a play set, the display is really nice. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because it's just so big, and with all the minifigures, you can create an awesome display. But the set is just not very tall. It's not the biggest thing, especially when you compare it to the UCS Gunship. But I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. And the Gunship, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, there's just nothing wrong about the Gunship. It is very big, imposing, and that's what you want. I have really nothing going on with the Gunship. I saw that people just really didn't like this gap over here, but it isn't that bad and there's just no real way to fix it. So I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, it is just that good. It is that impressive. So yeah, those are my rankings for display. 8 out of 10 and a 10 out of 10. Finally, guys, to our last category, and that is value. And just so you know, I removed the personal opinion category because this video is for you guys. Yeah, you over there, this video is for you, not for me. And you'll decide which set is better for you. And just so you know, value-wise, I'm gonna give a bit of information for both sets. This set has 22 minifigures if you include the do-back, but let's say 21. This includes 2, even though this is for display. And piece-wise, they are really similar. This has 3,187 pieces, and this has 3,292, which is only 100 more. And for the same price point, you can't really complain because the Cantina does have exclusive elements like this one. But the gunship just has so much larger pieces, like all these panels. I mean, they are just so big. It has just way more exclusive pieces, like this one over here has 4 of these ones, 2 of these ones. I mean, this is just insane. And just so you know, this thing is 2.4 kilos. The Cantina is 2.4 kilos, including the speeders and everything included. And the gunship is 3.6 kilos, which is a huge difference. I mean, the gunship is so much heavier than the Cantina. I mean, the Cantina itself, this over here alone is 1.6. This is 3.6. This is way heavier. And with all of this, you can't really carry all at the same time because it's only connected by 2 studs that won't hold it. And the speeders, again, you can't really put them inside the Cantina. I mean, the gunship is just so much larger. So just so you know, as a conclusion for value, set-wise, I'm going to give it to the Cantina, mainly because you just get a lot from the set, the figs, the build, the play, and everything. But build-wise and not set-wise, I'm going to have to give it to the gunship. I mean, it is just so much heavier and bigger that I just have to give the value to the gunship. So at the end of the day, even though I want to say the Cantina has better value, the gunship has a way better value, and I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because even though the piece count is not there, the size is there, and the size of the Cantina is just not there for the value. Even though it includes a ton of figs and everything, I'm gonna have to give it a 6 or 7 out of 10. I think it's gonna be a 6.5 out of 10 because the value is just not there when you compare it to the gunship. So guys, finally, with the results and everything going forward, the Cantina has a score of 88 out of 100, and the gunship has an 84 out of 100. So they're really similar, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be hard deciding which set you like best because there's just one thing: play or display. Both are really nice and you really get a lot for both. And that's really the question at the end of the day. What do you prefer, spending $400 on Star Wars sets? On a huge play set or a huge display set? And play and display are not very friendly because you rarely find a very playful and displayable set, especially at this price point. But it is just super personal, and just so you know, my personal opinion, I'd take the Cantina. I know that the gunship is so more valuable, displayable, so much bigger and all, but the Cantina's display isn't that bad compared to the gunship display. So yeah, guys, at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to take the Cantina. In my opinion, it's a better set, but ask yourself, what do you prefer? A display set or a play set? And that way you'll answer that question. But thanks a lot, guys, if you stayed till the end. Have a nice day. So really appreciate it, guys. Bye.